For Borhan Basharat, everyday life has become a struggle. The Bedouin shepherd has been grazing his herds in these hills for decades, on lands his father and grandfather grazed too. But lately his livelihood and family tradition is coming under increased threat.
For 2, 3, or 4 months on a daily basis, we've been experiencing violent assaults. It's not possible to sleep at night fearing for our children. We're under constant threat, and at any moment we could get killed. We could have our houses and cabins burnt. We could be displaced.
The threat comes from settler violence. Burhan's encampment is surrounded on one side by an Israeli settlement, considered illegal under international law, and on another by an outpost, an informal settlement considered illegal even under Israeli law. Burhan says lately it feels as though they're closing in.
After October 7th, they stabbed someone with a knife in El Malek, burnt houses, they attacked and confiscated livestock. One of the farmers from Jeflek, who got his livestock confiscated, had to pay around $40,000 for it.
Livestock theft is not uncommon. According to Israeli liberal newspaper Haaretz, more than 500 goats and sheep have been stolen by armed Israeli settlers in recent months, sometimes in military uniform. Even more common than theft, though, is violence and intimidation. Scenes like these are a regular occurrence all over the West Bank. And the intimidation is working. Since the October 7th terror attack, settlers have forcibly displaced people from at least 20 herding communities and entirely uprooted another 7. The Israeli military is supposed to protect Palestinians living here, but a report by Human Rights Watch has found the military is either failing to do so or is directly involved in the violence. Israeli volunteer activists have stepped up their work in an effort to keep communities safe.
The protective presence started right after October 7. The communities were extremely threatened by settlers' visits and harassment, so we had to start coming in the nights. When we are there, much less is happening.
The activists say settler violence is part of an unofficial but deliberate Israeli policy to take land. But there's another official way too.
When they are declaring an area as state land.
Dror Edkers is the founder of Kerem Navot, an organisation engaged in monitoring and researching Israeli land policy in the West Bank. He says the reclassification of land is one of the main methods by which Israel seeks to assert control over land in the occupied territories.
Basically, they had surveyed this area. They were supposed to survey this area and to reach the conclusion that this area was not cultivated. And if it was not cultivated for a certain amount of years, so then they assume that it's state land. And Israel has a right to run this land. So you can assume that this area, which had been declared, is going to go to a body which is related to the Israeli settlement enterprise.
An enterprise the government is actively working to promote. When reclassifying the biggest pocket of land in decades, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich said the move was an important and strategic issue. While there are those in Israel and in the world, he said, who seek to undermine our right to Judea and Samaria, we promote settlement through hard work and in a strategic manner all over the country. This year, more than 1,100 hectares of land has been reclassified as state land.
This is directly related to the political climate. They are doing it now in order to convey a message. We will do whatever we want. We are decisive to go on with the Israeli annexation of the West Bank.
And there's no legal way that a Palestinian can fight this, not the Palestinian Authority?
Not a practical one.
Despite the challenges, Burhan is determined to try to hold on to his land.
There's no justification, so I'm living here in my land, right? These settlers, what business do they have here in my land? I have a title to this land. What do they want from me? Where should I go?
He hopes increased international pressure will help save his land for future generations.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.